Welcome back. For this lesson, I wanted to go over some basics for our syllabus and give you a walkthrough of what we're going to be doing in this class and how to kind of dissect it. I know my syllabus is very long in length, and we certainly need to maybe go over a couple of that just so you understand what we're looking at and how we're going to get through this semester. So before we get into that, I do want to do a brief walkthrough of our course design on Brightspace, because that's primarily how you're going to be accessing your materials and submitting your work. Okay, so let's go to that. I'm going to share my screen with you. Okay, as you can see here, this is probably what you're going to see when you log into Glenville's WVNet or Brightspace, okay, however you want to call that. So with this is the very first screen that you're going to see when you log in. As you can see, this is general psychology. Perhaps maybe you're not taking general psychology, but this will be very similar to many other course designs. So don't worry if you're not in a general psychology and you're seeing that up here. Okay, so but whatever class you should see will be listed up here in the top. So this is where your news and announcements is. So the very first screen that opens up is your news and announcements. Any major changes that I have to this course will be reflected in a message, usually in this, and I usually follow it up with an email as well. So as you can see, I have my good little welcome message here, welcoming you to this course. If there are any textbooks that are needed to be accessed via Revel or Cengage or whatever, I have that information here as well, usually with a link or further instructions on how to access that. As you can see for this course, this particular course, I was using Packback. Some courses I use it, some courses I don't, but check the announcement. If it's in here, then obviously we are going to be using it. I also reflect that in my syllabus, which I will show you where that's located as well. If we're not using Packback, don't worry about it. You won't see that in this course. However, I do provide the community link code here. So when you do register for your course, for your Packback access, then it will ask you for a community code. This is where you can find that. Okay, so that's pretty much the basics of the home page here, with the exception also of the calendar, which does a pretty good job of telling you off to the right here, telling you what we have and when it's due usually. So for example, we have our pre-assessment that's due for general psychology, which I'll talk about here in just a little bit. Okay, so Packback questions, as you can see, it tells you when things are due and when they're available to you. All right. So the other area I want to really pay your attention to is the content area. Okay, this is where you're probably going to be spending a majority of your time, mostly because I've designed this in such a way to really enhance the ease of use of this course, because a lot of times many students will just go up here and they'll click on discussions, or they'll click on quizzes, or they'll click on assignments. And normally those are very hard to organize, or at least understanding that you might have something in each one of them, or you might have 2 out of 3 of them, or whatever. Just having everything with the ease of use under content seems to work very well. So that's really the area that I'm going to focus on today. So the very first thing that you'll get into is the overview. All right, so as you can see, I have my nice little introduction here, and welcoming you to the course, and giving you a little bit of information about me, and you know, just very basic information. Next to that is below that, I'm sorry, is the syllabus. Now you can view the syllabus 2 ways. You can scroll through it right here in this viewer. Some platforms, like maybe Android or Pixel, they might have a hard time viewing this, but no worries. I mean, if you can go to a different platform like Safari or Edge or something, you'd be able to view it in there, probably with more ease of use, shall I say. So anyway, this is the syllabus, which I'll get into in just a little bit, but you can view it here. Or if you scroll down here to the bottom, there's a link here to download it, or even print it if you have an attached printer. to your phone or laptop or iPad or whatever it is you've got. So those features are usually down there. If you don't have those buttons down there, that usually means that perhaps your browser does not support that, and it would like for you to change that. Maybe change a different browser. Okay. So anyway, that's overview. Bookmarks I don't do a whole lot with. Course schedule is very similar to what we saw before. Course resources, I don't have anything in there currently, but if I needed to put anything as far as the courses, overall courses, that's where I would locate it. Course evaluation, later on in the semester, you'll be familiar with what course evaluation is, okay? Getting started. All of these are resources that I chose to put in here to help students be successful in APA writing. One of the things that I really push in this class is familiarization with APA style papers, okay? A lot of students said, oh, I've never done APA, or I don't know what APA is, and I just don't, maybe they just haven't gotten familiar with it yet. But if you are in psychology or really any social science or science at all, APA is going to be the preferred style from here on out. Okay, you may have a writing class that may use MLA or Chicago. We use APA in this course just to get you familiar with it. I don't expect anybody to be an expert on it, but I do expect that you familiarize yourself with it and you give it a good attempt. To that end, if I give you any feedback, if you produce an assignment that is maybe needs improvement on APA format, I'll give you feedback, and then I'll be looking for those changes in future assignments. Okay. Another thing I would like to caution you with, or alert you to, is if you feel that APA might be a problem for you, you have at your disposal tutors and the Writing Center here at Glenville State University. Okay, both are fantastic services, and they're always there to help, and it's very easy to get in touch with them. I did provide their link, I believe, in the course home. If I didn't, I will certainly add that here very soon. All right, so anyway, these are some APA examples. So if you click on any of these, it'll tell you how to do that. One common area that people have a difficult time with is how to create a hanging indent in MS Word, okay? If you don't know how to create a hanging indent, you can certainly check out that video and it'll show you how to do that. A hanging indent is a little bit different from a regular indent. You know, you have a paragraph, you have a couple spaces in on that very first word. So in a hanging indent, it's opposite of that. You have your first line of text is from margin to margin, and then after that, each line after that is indented. So that's called a hanging indent. All right. If you have any questions of the course, and I kind of sprinkled this throughout my email and through the announcement, the initial announcement that I made, the best way to get course-related questions answered is through General Questions Discussion Forum, okay, which is located right here. I created a tab, and you just click on that, and it takes you to this screen, and you'll be able to see any questions that come up. You should be able to see in here, okay? So right now you can see that nobody really had any questions so far about that course. But if somebody did say, how do I upload an assignment? I can put instructions in there, or if any students know the answer to that, they're welcome to respond to that. But either way, if a question is asked, it will get answered in some form, usually within 24 hours, with the exception of weekends. I usually check this a couple times a day to see if anybody has any questions. So be aware that was probably the most effective, efficient way for you to get an answer. Emails tend to take a little bit longer, especially during the earlier part of the year. I generally get about several hundred emails a day. So it sometimes takes me a couple days, or I might even wait until the weekend to answer some of them. So keep in mind that while and if you have any personal situations that need to be addressed, you know, you can certainly email me. It just may take longer for me to get to that. So again, General Discussion Forum is by far the best way, most effective way to get your questions answered. All right. Moving back, let's go back to the Content tab. Oh, by the way, yeah, and if you don't have or you don't see the question in there, make sure you post it. I think that goes without saying. Another thing here, and I'll probably put out an email if I haven't done already, is the YouTube channel. Okay, I produce a lot of videos on YouTube, a lot of psychology videos on YouTube, that if you subscribe to my channel, I do offer extra credits. A lot of these deal with the topics that we're going to be touching upon here in this class and some of my other classes as well. So if you're curious about social psychology, for example, or cognitive psychology, or biological psychology, whatever, pick a topic. I've got about 8 or 9 different subjects I teach out there. So if you subscribe to that channel and and you make some comments on there, I do give extra credit for that, and I'll give you instructions in the news and announcements and an email probably later about that. Okay, if I haven't done it already. All right. So that's really it for the introductory tabs here. So now we're going to go into really the meat and potatoes of what we're going, how our course is going to be structured. So each week, like for example, this is week 1. Somehow I missed week 2, or it's hiding from me, but I'll find that and fix that. But anyway, week 1 begins August 15th. So underneath that, I have each week broken down into overview. I have it broken down into resources, discussion, participation, and assessments. Okay, so underneath this, you can click any one of these just to find out, so the overview gives you a brief overview of what we're doing in psychology, why study psychology, gives you a brief introduction to the lesson that we're going to be covering that week. And for example, like week 3 is going to have a different overview. Okay. Now, underneath the overview, if you notice, week 1, I did not have a PowerPoint, but the week 1 PowerPoint will actually be in week 2. I'm sorry, chapter 1 PowerPoint will be in week 2. There's a reason for that, which I'll explain here in just a little bit. But anyway, if you want to download the PowerPoints, you're welcome to. Okay. Some of these have videos and some pretty good lessons about that. Okay. And a lot of these coincide with the videos that I have out on YouTube as well. And sometimes you'll see those out here in the next tab, which is called resources. Okay. So under resources, I posted a series of videos that highlight some of the concepts that are talked about with many of these topics. Okay. So some of the topics, the concepts, I found videos out on YouTube, not necessarily mine, that like epigenetics, for example, would be one that you can cover. Okay. So that's overview, that's resources. Now we're going to go down to discussion. Okay. So for week 1, very important that we all do this is, well, 2 things here is we want to make sure we have Packback access. Okay. So clicking on this link will take you to Packback. You can either purchase that access code through there, or if you got one through the bookstore, they should have an access code or instructions for you to access Packback. But either way, you click on that, and this will be a separate video for Packback. I'll answer that later. Okay. Some of my classes, I use discussion forums. For this particular class, I did not. We're going to be using Packback instead. Okay. So, and then for week 1, if we can do this probably by Wednesday or Thursday, just do a brief little introduction. So here's my introduction. Go over a little bit about me, and then I ask you to post something about you. Include your name, what you would like to be called, what is your area of study. Tell us what you hope to gain from this course, and one thing that is interesting or rarely known about yourself. Just kind of a little bit of an icebreaker there for you. Okay, for the class. Next, we have, and finally, we have under week 1, we have assessments. Now for week 1, it's very important that you take this pre-assessment quiz, because without taking the pre-assessment quiz, that's why week 2 isn't showing up. Okay, so without taking pre-assessment quiz, you will not be able to access anything beyond that. Okay, so the pre-assessment quiz, it's nothing you have to study for, nothing that you have to prepare for or really even worry about. All I want to know is where you are and what you know about some of the topics in psychology. If you don't know that much, that's okay. It just gives me kind of a gauge of where you are currently. And then towards the end of the course, we'll get a gauge of how much you learn from that point. Okay, so no studying, no sweat, no anxiety. It'll be fine. Okay, so just take that. Don't prepare. You don't have to look up. There are no points on doing well for this. Okay, so you don't lose any points either if you don't do well. So don't worry about it. Not a big deal. Just take it. That's the only thing I ask. All right. So before I go into the syllabus, I do want to cover one thing in assessments here, and that is the article review. Okay, there seems to be a lot of confusion sometimes on how to do the article review assignment. Now, there are two things that I want to do with these article reviews. Is I want you to get familiar with writing and reading APA and scholarly sources, and I also want there to be some kind of discussion between students as to what they found or where they found it, or maybe some feedback on the content or even the format if a student feels that they need a better understanding of that format, or if they have a higher level understanding of the format of APA and they want to share that with another student. That's kind of the spirit of this assignment. Okay, so really, in essence, what we're doing is we're picking an article and then we're going to just do a little summary of that. But there are two parts to that. To each article review, we have 3 of them throughout the semester. Our first one lands on week 3. So essentially what you're going to do with article review number 1 is by Friday, and follow the instructions. I don't have instructions here. Let me change back to not being a student in D2L. I like doing that because it shows me what students see and how it shows up for them. Okay, so anyway, the instructions will show up here. So the article review by Friday, complete this assignment in a Word document. It should be about 1 to 2 pages, not including the title page. So that should go without saying. You should have at least 1 or 2 pages, not including the title page. Okay, I do ask for a title page on all assignments. I'm not too worried about an abstract. I don't think there's really anything in this class that we're going to be doing an abstract for. So no abstract, but then you'll have the title page, you'll have your text, and then of course you'll have a separate reference page in APA format. Okay, so with that, you're going to pick an article, your choice. Google Scholar is probably a good one. EBSCO. If you need help finding a particular article, like say you bring up psych articles or psych info and you see that there's probably an abstract that you like, but it doesn't have the entire text, you can contact the library resources and they'll get that for you. So anyway, answer these questions in essay format. Okay, don't just answer them, list of 1 and then answer it. Answer them in essay format, in a Word format, and then submit it to here by Friday. Okay. Oh, I'm sorry, review it, reply to their posts and text box. Okay, so that's Friday that you're going to be doing that. Also on Friday, what you're also going to be doing is going to discussion and participation. And you'll see a discussion forum here. You'll click on that. And you're going to start a new thread because you won't be able to see anybody's until you start yours. Type your name and then down here, add attachment, and then add your file to that as well. Okay, and that will upload that and you'll be able to then see other people's submitted work and respond to their work as well. Okay, so that's it for the article review. Hopefully, if you have any questions, again, put that into the discussion, general discussion question. Okay, all right, so let's shift gears here. I just do want to go through the syllabus rather quickly. Don't really have to spend too much time on the syllabus. If I can find it on my screen here now, here we go. All right, so here's our syllabus. Nothing too surprising here. Many of you have other classes and you've seen these very similar setups. I'm not going to go through this line by line. You do have a syllabus quiz that if you search through this, you should find all this stuff. Has the text. Okay, if you have a question about what version of the text you need, this provides that right there. We're using the 5th edition for this course here, okay? If you're watching this video and you're taking a different course other than general psychology, then you can find the edition of the text right there. Also, required resources will be Packback. Here's the website here if you need to access that website to register your account. Okay, keep in mind it's packback.co and not packback.com. A lot of students mess that up. It is a site that a Canadian-based website. So, excuse me. Attendance and grading. Again, I track information I track attendance by the students that participate on due dates. So if, for example, we go beyond a week and you have not participated in class, we would consider that an absence from that course for that week. Okay. If you do happen to have something that takes a week longer, maybe you have a family emergency or something going on that you need to take some time away, please, please, please let me know. Okay. If, especially hospitalization, I know you've got a million things to do, but even if you could just send me a quick text, let me know what's going on, and then we can probably come up with some kind of solution after that. Okay. Reading quizzes. We have a reading quiz every week, which I showed you. Class participation, again, for this will be the use of Packback. So that will count as our class participation. And I've got the instructions here on how to set that up. 1 question by Thursday and 2 responses by Sunday. And I'm going to have a different video for Packback just to walk you through that. Okay. Weekly assignments. Those are 20 points each. And this gives you a little rubric of how I'll be grading that. Make sure that they are not late. If they are, they could go down as far as 50% of it after a certain amount of time. And I think after a week, I wouldn't be able to take anything late at all. Okay. Exams, we're going to have 2 of them. We'll have a midterm exam at week 8 and the final exam at week 17. Okay. But more information will come out about that. And as far as the exams go, pretty straightforward. You can take one thing I did want to mention going back to the quizzes is that you can take them as many times as you want. So you have to take them initially by Sunday of each week. But if you say got a 70 or an 80% on it and you want to go back and take it again, you can and improve your score. Okay. One thing to note with the quizzes is that all the items on the quizzes will be eligible for the midterms and the final exams. Okay. Now with the article review projects, I already I talked about that. You can do, we have 3 article reviews at week 3, 9, and 13. The first one you notice is only 50 points, and that's because I wanted to make it low threat, give everybody a chance to make some mistakes. I can give you some feedback, and then the next article review 2, do week 9. I'll see if you made those changes to that feedback. Okay. And then week 13 will be the final one. Extra credit movie reviews. Throughout the semester, I'm going to have a lot of options for extra credit. So keep your eye out for that. I will advertise it and I'll let you know what we're looking at doing for the extra credit. And I'll give you instructions on how to do that and how to submit that. And yeah, that'll come throughout the semester. So, but one of those things you can do is watch up to 2 movies on your own. You can watch one of these 2 for up to 50 points extra credit, and then just provide a kind of a written summary on that movie. And I'll give you, again, I'll have instructions within those assignments itself. Here's the assignment breakdown. I like to add this part in. I know it's a little bit lengthy, but it tells you exactly what you need to do to get an A in the course. So for example, if you pass all 11 of 12, give a little bit of leeway there, complete 11 of 12 weekly assignments, 11 of 12 participation. As long as you meet all these criteria, you are pretty much guaranteed an A. With same thing with the grade of B here, regardless of what it says within Brightspace. If you meet all these criteria, you're probably already sitting at a B even in Brightspace. But anyway, this is just, some people like numbers. This will give you an idea. If you meet these requirements, then you'll certainly be at that grade. The other area that I want to point out to you in the syllabus is the schedule, okay? Everything that is due is under this schedule. So for example, week 1, we have pre-test, okay, due Wednesday. We have a syllabus quiz due Thursday, class introduction due Thursday, by Thursday. You don't have to do it on Thursday. You can do it Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday. As long as it's done by Thursday midnight, you'll be good.
Sorry, I couldn't hear.
And Siri thinks I'm talking to it. I'm sorry. And then a response to the introduction by Thursday, or I'm sorry, by Sunday. And then we go to week 2. Week 2, you have your initial Packback due by Thursday. You have assignment 1 due by Saturday. You have Packback reply due by Saturday. And then you have quiz, your first quiz due on Sunday. Okay. And you can do that with each one of these weeks. Week 8, obviously, will be our midterm exam. I'll provide some more instructions on that. We won't have any assignments due for that week except for reviewing for midterm exams. But again, I'll give you the assignment details on that, okay? And then Thanksgiving break on week 15, nothing will be due, nor will you be expected to turn anything in that week. And then final exams weeks, I'll have more information on that. Okay, so that's really it. That's all I've got. Hopefully that made sense. If not, again, I really encourage you to perhaps post your question in Brightspace under that general questions forum section, and then I will answer it in there. Okay. Other than that, I look forward to a great semester. I think we're going to have a lot of fun, a lot of great discussions in this course, and I can't wait. All right. Again, welcome and have a great semester, everybody.